Man, who'd have thunk it? Amazing what they did with an old fortune cookie factory. Now, speaking of good fortune, you won't believe what our next family's done with an auto dealership down in Savannah, Georgia. It's a place for Lee Smith's family to park paper airplanes. But 100 years ago, early automobiles parked here. A 1919 Packard auto dealership in historic downtown Savannah, Georgia. Lee's Antique Store is on the first floor.
Welcome to the garage.
And the grand entrance leads to a 6,500 square foot loft on the second.
These stairs were poured on top of the old ramp that the cars drove up. So I didn't create the grand entrance.
At the top of the stairs, a living room and billiard room, leading into what was once an oil-soaked concrete parking lot. Now an elegant 60-foot-long dining room, a luxurious kitchen, study, home gym, 4 bedrooms, and 3 baths attached to the main rooms. Lee bought the garage in 1993 and renovated the first floor for his business. A sudden change in 2001 prompted the need for more space.
My marital status changed practically overnight, and so I had to do something, and at that point it became obvious and necessary to convert this space to my home.
And buying a new loft of comparable size nearby was not an option.
If it was available, you couldn't afford it. So I already had it. I had been downstairs for 10 years.
The goal of a new home for his 2 sons got Lee through the grueling 15-month renovation, which started out messy.
The windows were falling out. It was nothing to come up here and there to be 2 or 3 pigeons flying around on the second floor. Between the time that I bought the building in '93 and the time that I renovated the space in 2001, it was never swept. It was never mopped.
This dad found a way for the project to be fun for the boys, especially when removing a cinder block wall near the stairs.
And if you'll notice, there are lots of chips and scratches and places that are busted on the stairs because when my boys were flailing away with a sledgehammer, having the time of their life, that cinder block wall was going everywhere.
Other children traversed this room almost 100 years ago, a fact that Lee discovered when he refinished the concrete floors.
When we sanded the floor and started doing the acid etching, we found some footprints, and they appear to be child's footprints, and we followed them. My boys and I have done this 1,000 times, and it's been here since this concrete was poured.
Even though these concrete floors were made to hold up against car tires, old autos had a hard time driving up to the parking garage.
The mechanics would have to sit on the hood of the truck because the ramp was so steep that the front wheels would come off as the trucks were driving up the service ramp. The Model Ts, the A's, the Studebakers, the Packers, the LaSalles, the DeSotos, those vehicles that were parked up here, they took the exact same route that me and the boys do when we come home. I do catch myself thinking about that from time to time, that I'm in somebody's parking space.
This once austere space made up for its lack of looks with a much admired view of a typical Savannah square.
I was unprepared, I think, for the light, the physical light and the open airiness of what it feels like in what used to be a garage.
Now the patter of little feet replaces squealing tires, a sound Lee and his girlfriend Jennifer are used to.
I guess they're back from getting ice cream.
So.
With this much room, no one gets underfoot. Well, except maybe Mo the dog, but nobody seems to mind.
I'm pleased with the work, I'm pleased with how it turned out, and it has ultimately turned out to be the most comfortable garage in the world.
Coming up next, a barn becomes a beautiful home. Big things yet to come on Rezoned.